What the fuck is this piece of shit?
So, Homeworld 3 is out, and it is currently sitting at a proud and mighty 42% on Steam.
Anyone who loves science fiction, it's unlike any other RTS game out there.
For us, Homeworld 3 is a love letter to the fans of the franchise that have been with us over the last, 20, 22 years.
So what happened? How did it come to this? Part of it is Lynn Joyce, the woman I warned you guys about when I made the video prior. And another part of it, though, is obviously deeper. Gearbox hired her knowing what she was about, knowing what her beliefs were. And here you are. Now, I know that Homeworld 3 is a special franchise for a number of guys that love to play it. They want like a deep and intellectual RTS with a really compelling story and really hard science. Well, you're not getting that now. Apparently, it's going to be, anti all of that stuff and pro DEI. So that's what you're getting. And it looks like the fan base is responding to that. Let's take a look at a little bit of the things that Lynn Joyce has said. I'm going to go to her Q&A, which I brought up before. Oh, look, it's gone. They took it down. I did get it on the Wayback Machine, but that's the only way you can look at it now. Isn't that weird? Oh, let's look at her tweets. Well, here we go. Recipe for a good Mother's Day. Skip town to go to Austin and see Neil Gaiman. Well, not a big deal, although the pink hair is a bit of a flag. Well, what else has she said? Well, here's one. Highly recommend Can I Play That workshop. Diversity, equity, and inclusion in games. Inclusivity for creatives. Uh-oh. Here's another one. It's true. A League of Their Own is really good. More and more shows with barely any men, please. So she hates men. All right. Here's another one. This was in response to the recent abortion laws that were passed in 2022 in Texas. Another day where I lament the world my children are inheriting. They were born during a tidal wave that keeps sweeping us backward. The swell grows bigger and looms larger and larger over the future. What further destruction awaits after the break? Metaphor aside, now is the time to make plans, gather networks, talk to youth and equip them with information it may soon be risky to Google or ask about in a doctor's office, which I think is retarded because Google's totally on your guys' side, but okay. Time to get candid. Have the hard and uncomfortable talks so that they/you/we/us are ready. That's a little bit of information about her. She is obviously doesn't like men, particularly white men. She is all about the DEI. But what do the fans think? So, let's look at the Steam page. Let's look at the Steam page for this. So I didn't set any, filters. I just have it on whatever the default page is. And let's see how many of these are the most helpful reviews in the past 7 days. Not recommended. This game is a massive disappointment after backing it on Fig years ago. I replayed all the Homeworld games in anticipation of playing this, and you think it was made by different people entirely. Not recommended. Be warned, if Homeworld is a treasured franchise to you and you enjoy the older games and are excited to finally experience a new entry in the series, this is not that. This is not anything at all. This is a short, awkward, buggy mess wrapped up in one of the worst stories ever seen in any media. It's not just a bad game. It's an insult to the previous entries and the fans, and even to any developers they had who truly wanted to make a great Homeworld game. Here's another one, not recommended. Art 9 out of 10, gameplay 7 out of 10, soundtrack 6 out of 10, story/campaign 1 out of 10, multiplayer 5 out of 10. Story campaign length approximately 6 hours for people who played Homeworld games before. Now, I mean, I'm not reading the whole review, so maybe I'm not getting the full context. Maybe there is more nuance to be found, but I'm sensing a pattern here. Not recommended. Sad. I'm very sad at the moment. The graphics are there, but man, what a pathetic attempt at a story. It's almost like there were two teams that worked on this game, and there was one team that cared about what the final product was going to be, and so they were the ones that happened to be working on the engine, the graphics, and that. And then there was another team that was concerned about the story, and they butchered it. Not recommended. Product refunded. I'm going to have to be perfectly honest here as a veteran player and as a modder from the Homeworld 2, Homeworld RM. I think that's, I can't remember the what that stands for. From those days, I would not recommend anyone to buy this game just for the base version of which GBX has shoved down our throats, and it does appear they had a lot of influence as to how this game turned out. The only pro I can think of are the graphics, and that's about it. It's shiny. Yeah, and you know, that's another thing too, is that since graphics have become so much more refined and intricate and high end, it's almost like some developers think they can get away with a game that looks good, but everything else is screwed. Not recommended. And another one, not recommended. Most of what's going on with this game has already been said, and we saw the writing on the wall when they released their war game demo. This is a critical disappointment for both fans, new and old. I admittedly would place myself in the latter because I played the previous games in my younger years, though I would not consider myself a veteran or expert of the series. Oh, look, somebody recommended it. Recommended cautiously if on sale. However, not at full price. Oof. Still a bit mixed. So yeah, looks like a lot of not recommend. Here we go. We got some that are pre-release reviews, which are a little bit suspicious, but it seems like most there it's split, but there's some sketchy shit going on in my opinion. Because if you look at the way that it has been sort of promoted on the Reddit page for Homeworld 2, reviews are in, and of course these are all very favorable. PC Gamer 77 out of 100, IGN 8 out of 10, IGN multiplayer 8 out of 10, Polygon no score, Homeworld 3 is for spaceship strategy sickos. I think that's a compliment. Gaming Trend 100 out of 100, The Sixth Axis 7 out of 10, Rock Paper Shotgun no score, a lavish and often gripping RTS that is overly reliant on playing the hits. And so it goes on. These are like the big games journalist websites all giving it praise. Yet the actual gamers not impressed. So what's the deal with that? It looks like to me this Reddit page is attempting to convince the gamers that this game is actually good because the pros said so. And I think that's really suspicious. So I also have something else I wanted to show you guys. There were some very excited messages about this game coming that seem a little bottish, if you don't mind me pointing out. Okay, look at this. Letitia Beatrice, can't wait to start my space adventure with Homeworld 3. This person, can't wait to embark on epic space adventures. Olivia Miller, sounds out of this world. Get it? Can't wait to blast off. Meta Yogi, Homeworld 3 sounds like out of this world. Can't wait to embark on cosmic adventures. Roy Farrell, finally a game that will launch me beyond the stars and back into my couch. Vernon Chesterton, awesome news. Can't wait to conquer the cosmos in Homeworld 3. Great, can't wait to embark on this cosmic adventure. Homeworld 3 sounds out of this world. Can't wait to embark on this cosmic adventure. Homeworld 3 is out of this world. Can't wait to dive in. Homeworld 3, where command meets comedy in the cosmos. Wait, is there supposed to be comedy in this game? Mason Calhoun, great. Can't wait to jump back into the universe of Homeworld 3. Here's another thing that you might not know was happening. There were gamers that were expressing their concerns. And for their trouble, they got warnings. So I'm going to read one of the posts. So this is from Python Revolver. And they said, GBX, that's Gearbox, and BBI, please read the way to fix this, 2 possible solutions. As a project manager with 30 years of experience, this is how I would manage this PR disaster, which it was shaping out to be. This is a freebie because I love this franchise and I want to do well. I want it to do well. and it hurts me to the core to see what's happening. So this person had some reasonable advice for Gearbox to salvage Homeworld 3. Number one, Gearbox should consider selling the IP to BBI and let them carry on this legacy. I'm sorry. It's now worth much less than you paid for it due to the damage. They know what they are doing and they have a passion for the series, something which Gearbox is clearly detached from. Number two, I think this is the only way that this can be recovered if they don't sell the IP to BBI. Release a statement and say we tried a new approach to crafting a diverse and inclusive narrative. It didn't work. We are going to rebuild it from the ground up. Consider refunding everyone and plan to release the original version. No outside consultants or animators, all in-house under Rob Cunningham, who has full creative control. We were misguided and made some decisions that were controversial and failed to meet expectations. Clearly state that outside consulting groups were a mistake, and as a result of the Homeworld 3 release, sales and reviews are not performing as expected. Currently, the game is on a DEI detected list, which they need to get off that list. Yes. Thank you to, shout out to Cabrutus for putting it on the list. Take time, regroup, repair, and make the game awesome as it was intended with zero outside interference. It's the only way this franchise can be salvaged, and it would be a win for Gearbox if they rejected these outside interferences and DEI stuff, consultancy firms, and would gain huge support from the gaming community and fans. It would get this game off that horrible list and make people pay attention due to the viral news. YouTube and Twitter would be on fire and would give fans hope. It would be great news to investors too. There is no other way to fix this. A plan of this nature really needs to be considered. Otherwise, this franchise is a dodo, a white elephant, which would be a shame as there is so much potential for this series and Rob Cunningham has the vision and creative ability to make it happen. Just give him full creative control. Also look at the community managers and their role and plan how these people can help. CM, community managers, are meant to help build communities and manage them. That's in the name, not just to wield banhammers and engage in and push political and social agendas, essentially the antithesis to building. The community is so fractured right now, and people are afraid to comment or give feedback for fear of being banned due to the extreme political correct atmosphere being forced upon them. Steam is a worldwide marketplace, and it attracts everyone. This isn't just a social justice bubble in Vancouver or whatever liberal city these CMs are from. Not everyone is liberal, and this needs to be taken into consideration. Most of us don't want politicking in our games, nor social activist creep. We just want great games. Give us this and we will give you cash. It's a simple formula. Great product equals sales. Remember who bought this game originally and who your core market is. When you cater to the 1%, you get what has happened here, and deservedly so, as the 1% doesn't play nor have interest in your game. Now, this seems like a perfectly reasonable critique and bit of advice for Gearbox to course correct. Of course, this isn't the first time that this sort of problem has happened. If you remember, I can think of two things right off the top of my head. When Cyberpunk 2077 first launched, it was disastrous. And what did CD Projekt Red do? Well, they had to, release a number of patches, and eventually they ended up giving us a product that was pretty decent. And then with the, there was a Cyberpunk 2077 patch that came right before their DLC that addressed a number of problems and added a bunch of extra features. Now, they're not quite out of the doghouse yet, but I think it is an example of how if you respond to the customers, you might see some change that is positive. But a really good example, I think a much better example of this, is Final Fantasy XIV. When Final Fantasy XIV first released, it was another disaster. I remember a friend of mine bought me a copy at the time, and I mean, it was just like nothing there. And I played Final Fantasy XI, which is the previous MMO, and I had high hopes for 14, but it was really, really bad. And what Square Enix did to address this was they released A Realm Reborn, and they essentially rebooted the whole thing, and it turned out to be a massive success. I think Final Fantasy XIV is probably one of, if not the most popular MMO on the market right now. Now, I'm not playing it because I can't make time for an MMO, but I know people who are extremely into the game. So yeah, I mean, it can be fixed. These are not things that are not possible to address. So if they were smart, they would take the advice and they would, consider course correction. Obviously, the reviews are mixed. The sales are terrible. People are very unhappy with this product. But what happened to this person? Well, they got a warning for disrespectful post. Your post, why so much hate, is in violation of our community rules and guidelines. Person got a warning on, I think this is Steam, and then they were banned from the Homeworld 3 Community Hub. You've been banned from Homeworld 3 Community Hub by a forum moderator for your post in Homeworld 3 general discussions for that specific post. Ban reason: creating discussions that encourages hateful or discriminatory replies with the intention to create arguments, rule violations, and other non-constructive replies. This type of content is not allowed on the Steam community. While this ban is active, you will not be able to post or comment in the Homeworld 3 Community Hub or upload new content to this community hub. If you believe this ban was issued by mistake, please contact Steam support. This is a permanent ban. So this person got permanently banned because he is a paying customer that had some complaints. He had concerns and he wanted to see them addressed. Now, what I suspect got him banned was him mentioning this as a DEI, nonsense. The DEI is to blame for this. And it is. The DEI is to blame for what has happened. I can even give you some examples of that. So here are the end credits for Homeworld 3. And you can see here, one of the various credits given is diversity in games, which I'm sorry, but that should be seen as pure cancer if you see it. That's basically the end of your product. And that's how it should be. There should be absolutely zero tolerance for this garbage. So there was a little bit of history, and I mentioned this in the previous video. The game was meant to be released, I think, in 2022, and that was when Lynn Joyce took over in the writing department, and they ended up doing a whole bunch of rewrites. There was a trailer that looked good back then, I believe. I actually have the old trailer here. It was at the Game Awards 2021. There was a tremendous amount of excitement for this. Here, I'll play it without any sound so you guys can see it. And people were very excited for this. They thought it was going to be great. And again, this has a built-in fan base. Like, it's kind of like Warhammer 40,000. It's kind of like the Soul series. It's like these games that have a built-in cult following. Homeworld was never meant to be for everyone. It was meant for the people that invested their time, energy, and money into it. Okay? And that's what I'm saying. Like, there's so much more to this story. I don't know if I can go into all of it, but I think you guys see where I'm coming from. Okay? So just in short, the game as it released, the problems with it, aside from the woke stuff and the activism and the story changes, as a game itself, despite the fact that it's got really great graphics according to the reviews, it is less deep, it is less complex. Apparently there is no science trees, which they used to exist before. The campaign makes no sense. It tramples all over the lore that's been established over the course of other games in the past. And it's basically plays like a MOBA now, according to the people who know about this stuff inside and out. And I think that is seriously a problem. So I wanted to share a couple of other things here so you guys can see this was what people were excited for when it was being launched. And unfortunately, it's not happened. Here is the 9gag page where this person shared the same thing. You've been banned by Homeworld 3 Community Hub. This has been going around. People have been getting banned from the community hubs from the Reddit pages, and it's all the people who are critical. So that means that if you go to the community hub, you're only going to see the people who are either indifferent or didn't have the courage to criticize the game, or the people who are openly like enjoying the game, or at least claiming to enjoy the game. This is gaslighting. They're trying to make you believe that this garbage is better than it obviously is. And they're doing this on purpose. So, and I think, honestly, in my personal opinion, in my experience, working with, Honey Badger Radio and in the original Gamergate, one of the benefits that a woke company like Gearbox has when they employ women is that if you criticize them, they can use those women as a shield and call you a sexist pig. And if there are women of color, then it's like a double whammy. So one other thing I wanted to mention is that there is an organization called Timber Games that is also involved with the project. We have this person, Zoe Curnow, who is also trying to gaslight people into believing that Homeworld 3 is great. And this is what she has to say on LinkedIn. I know so many folks who are excited for Homeworld 3. To say I'm proud of this team and everything they have achieved is an understatement. I have watched them work so hard, give so much love to this beloved franchise. Of course, I have deep personal connections, as my husband, Rory McGuire, is the president of Blackbird Interactive. It means I can get a front row seat to the amazing games, worlds, and experiences they create. The BBI folks treat me like I'm part of the crew there, and it always feels like home when I get to hang out with them. It has been such a hard year for everyone trying to make games. I hope we can all celebrate some victories like this in the coming months. Lance Mueller giving you an extra big high five. It looks like there is, by the critic reviews, there's a lot of excitement. And I think this is all very misleading stuff. So what is Timber Games? Let's take a look. Timber Games Creative. Let's build a world-class network of game studios making games more accessible and fun for everyone. All right. We bring our values into the experiences we make. Does this sound like corpo speak, kind of Sweet Baby Inc. style talk? I mean, it is basically that. Our deep connections to the Vancouver gaming community, it's always Canadians, are at the heart of who we are. We believe in being a platform for new voices, creating new experiences. This is all very suspicious, guys. Very suspicious. Heck yeah, we're hiring. Yeah, you probably wouldn't hire me, though. Even though I'm a brown person that uses a female avatar, it's not good enough. A timber culture drives creative. We bring our values into the experiences we make. New perspectives lead to new games. We believe in being a platform for new voices, creating new experiences. Don't be fooled when they say new perspectives or, new voices. They're not talking about people with different opinions. They're talking about people with different skin color. They're talking about people with different sexual preferences. They're talking about women. They're not even talking about men. Okay. And that's usually how this always shakes out. Don't be fooled. Do not take them literally. Take them seriously. Let's take a look at that. Putting our values to work. All right. What are their values? We are visionary explorers. We trust and assume good intentions. We try, fail fast, learn, and grow. We are pursuers of fun. Okay. This is all fine. We are creators of clarity. We start with why. We are diversity champions. There we go. Pink hair and everything. We respect diverse thoughts and experiences. We are inspired by unique stories. We believe all voices matter. Holy crap. 2020 really did a number on you people. No, actually, it was 2016 that really did the number. It's a lot. There's way more to look at. I think that I will let my audience decide, what their thoughts are on this. There is one more bit of information I just got, so I'm going to share it right now. Breaking news. Homeworld 3's plot has been cut. The game's plot was cut, not censored, during the climax of the episode, to the point where the ending now seems so abrupt. Some of these storylines can be seen in demo files. Officials should release the original episode, including the climax of the episode, to the point where the ending now seems abrupt. Okay, so they have cut it. Now, if you can actually display or post on Reddit about this, about your concerns or complaints, or in the Steam group, I would be careful, They've also banned people from the Discord server. It's a mess. So this conversation is not allowed to take place. So I say take to Twitter, go to DEI Detected, talk to people that you know in your circles, share this information with them. And I hope that I've done this some justice. I am sorry, I'm not a Homeworld gamer, but I understand the struggle, my bros. I understand how upsetting it can be. There's way more to say about this, but I don't want this video to go too long. So I'm going to end it there. If you guys like this video, please hit like, subscribe to the channel. I'm really close to 500 subs. I already have my Discord server ready to go. And I think that it will be really great because I have people that are willing to work with me and help me make more content, people who are really good editors, and they're really good at doing research. And I think that if we come together, we can do something special for the gamers out there. This is like the last bastion when it comes to our free time. And I think we should do whatever we can to preserve it. So please like, share, subscribe, comment, and let me know what you guys think about this. And I will talk to you all in the next one. Long live Vivian.
No one's left. Everything's gone. Carrick is burning.